Hi, good morning, students. It is Wednesday already of this week. Can you believe that? And we're going to be having school today. So let's start with our word of the day, which would be in your language arts and reading notebook in your word nerd section. And I'm going to go over your word from yesterday and give you your new word for today. Our word from yesterday was vast. And vast means it's an adjective of very great extent or quantity, immense. And then my sentence was, the Sioux traveled across the vast prairie in search of the buffalo. My synonym is expansive. My antonym was minuscule. Okay, so let me let you get that down. All right. Whoops. Okay, so let me go to we'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so our word for today is prairie. Okay, and look at that. That is a vast prairie right there. Okay, all right, now our skill for this week is cause and effect. Let's go over what that means. Nothing happens without a reason or without some kind of consequence. When you explain why things happen and what occurs when they do, the technique you use is often called cause and effect. So cause is why something happened, effect is the result of what happened. Because effects always have causes and causes always lead to effects, we rarely see one without the other. So that means if you have a cause, you usually have an effect. If you have an effect, you usually have cause. So let's look at this picture. We have rain, and then we have picnic canceled. So when you see those two pictures, which one do you think is the cause? Which one do you think is the effect? All right, so if you think about that, the cause is why something happened, and the effect is what happened. Okay, so here we go. This is why. This is the cause. It is raining, and the effect of it being a big rainstorm is the picnic got canceled. Okay, so let's do another one of those. If you think about, let's say the boy was riding his bike too quickly in the middle of the street and hit the curb and broke his leg. So the cause would be he was riding his bike too quickly, and then the effect of that was he broke his leg. So that is the why and the effect of what happened. Okay, so that's our skill for this week. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be doing in our Hindenburg packet. It looks like this. There we go. Okay, so yesterday you looked up 5 interesting facts about the Hindenburg, and then I hope you finished reading the story, because you cannot do these activities if you have not read the story, because they have to do with things in the story. So you definitely need to have read the story, okay? So I'm going to go to page 2. So we did this page yesterday. Today we are on the cause and effect page, and it says draw an illustration of the cause of the Hindenburg catching fire, then draw the effect of that happening. Okay, so they're wanting you to determine why you think the Hindenburg caught fire. Now in our story it doesn't tell us 100% because no one knows 100%, but they give us clues and hypotheses and theories. You're welcome to get on the internet and also research that and come up with your own theory of why you think the Hindenburg caught fire. And you can write that as your own sentence, or you obviously can use things from the actual story. So this is kind of like an opinion using facts. So let's look at mine. Let me flip this around. Okay, so here's mine at the top up here. This is not my best artwork, but it's the Hindenburg. So there it is, and you can see that it is in a thunderstorm, and the top of it is kind of bent in a little bit. Now remember, the Hindenburg was filled with hydrogen, which is a flammable gas. So my cause that I wrote down right there was the Hindenburg flew through a thunderstorm and the Zeppelin got a leak, which is the company, so name of a blimp. Okay, so anyway, so I said that it flew through the thunderstorm, which caused the electricity, and it caused there was a little tiny leak maybe in the top, and it caused that hydrogen to ripple up there at the top, and maybe that was it, charged the gas in there, and that was why it was flammable. And then my effect, here's the picture of the Hindenburg actually catching fire that I drew from the story, and then it put the Hindenburg caught fire and burned up in 40 seconds when it tried to land. So the cause was, I believe, that it flew through the thunderstorm and there was a leak. And then the effect of that was when it tried to land, it caught fire. So that is my cause and effect. So that is your job, is to come up with what you think the cause and effect will be for the Hindenburg actually catching fire today, and draw an illustration and put one sentence under your picture explaining your answer. So you're using visual imagery and cause and effect today. Okay, so that's all you're doing for reading today. Make sure you read your story. You need to get that done if you didn't. Now for our Native American things, we have talked about the Plains Indians, which was the Sioux tribe. We have talked about the Northwest Coastal Indians, which is the Tlingit tribe. And now today we're going to be starting the Navajo, which is a desert Indian tribe. Okay, so we're just going to be coloring this paper with the label and your 3 words. The Navajo, they like a lot of yellows and blacks and reds and greens, and turquoise is one of their favorite colors because that is something that they made all of their jewelry. That's what they're known for, is their beautiful woven blankets and their outstanding jewelry that they make of silver and turquoise and red and like an onyxy black color. Their jewelry is beautiful. So anyway, those are some colors you can think of when you are coloring that for today. So that's the only thing we're going to have for that part, is just to color that today. Then let's look at our words, our Seminole Dictionary. Let's get that done next. So let me flip. So we're going to go through these and say these with me. So we'll say the word and then say what it means, and then we'll look at our new ones down here. Kazapi means cold. Chito means snake. Lani means green. Udji means corn. Owa means water. Ifa means dog. Thatho means fish. Hasi means sun. Hathisi means moon. Miski means summer. Figi means heart. Faswa means bird. Penwa means turkey. Here's our new ones. Agudi means frog. Sounds kind of like goody, but it's a goody. Oba means owl. That's good for Harry Potter and Hedwig. Edo means tree. And Jada means blood. Okay, so those are your words for today. Get those written down. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to have to do today is our Thinking Thankful Thoughts journal. Okay, some of you maybe you haven't given up your item and you were supposed to, so let me go over that with you, how that's kind of going to look so far, because I've been doing mine, so you should be doing yours. So let's look at this first page. So you should have written down what you gave up, and then wrote about a half a page about how you thought that was going to make you feel, and then draw a picture of what you gave up. Then this was this weekend. Asked you a question about, have you been doing your experiment, and have you been cheating? And then this was Monday. It is day 3. What have you been doing since instead of using your item? And I read that to you yesterday. And this was yesterday's. It says, are you ready to have your item back? Explain why or why not. And I definitely put on mine, yes, I'm ready to have my item back. I definitely miss using my media for school and for my other things that I do at my home. Now, I really have enjoyed reading my books while I was at home during this time of not having my item. Hopefully, I also will get some more of my Christmas decorations up to enjoy. So yes, I'm putting my Christmas up because I have some extra time to do so. And anyway, so when you're not using social media, you figure out you have extra time to do things. And I have been reading my book. A lot of times if I'm watching a show on TV, on the commercials, I will look at my phone or something. Well, now instead I'm reading my book, so which I love to read. And it's just something you have to kind of make yourself do even if you love it, because you got to make time for it. So I have enjoyed that part. So today's question is, do you think you will appreciate your item more now that you have had to do without it? So you're going to answer that today, okay? Then the last thing we're going to do is our fact or crud. Okay, are you ready? So our question from yesterday was, among the 56 signers of America's Declaration of Independence, most were merchants. I knew that answer. It is a crud answer because most of them were lawyers. Okay, now there were some merchants, but most were lawyers. So anyway, the signers, you know. Okay, so here we go. This is a funny one for today because when I was growing up as a kid, there was this commercial on TV, and it was about Tootsie Pops. Those are suckers that have chocolate Tootsie Roll stuff in the center, kind of like a blow pop, but it's Tootsie Pop. I'm sure some of you have eaten them, but maybe you haven't. But anyway, it was a sucker while I was growing up, and there was this commercial on TV, and there was this boy, and he opens one up, and he asks the owl, because the owl is supposed to be wise, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? And the owl takes the wrapper off, and he goes, a 1, a 2, 3. And he bites it on the third one. So we never know how many licks it actually takes to get to the center, which is the Tootsie Roll the Tootsie Roll in the center of a Tootsie Pop. So this one has to do with that. It's kind of funny. A licking machine, based on the actions of a human tongue, was created by engineering students at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana, to determine the number of licks required to reach the chocolate center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. So you have to decide, is that fact or crud? Did they actually just make a machine that licks like a human tongue to see how many licks it would take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? Kids in college, did they do that? Okay, so that's all your assignments for today. So you really don't have a whole lot for today. You got to do your word, do your cause and effect paper in your Hindenburg packet, color your Navajo labels and words, and then do your thinking thoughts journal. And that's it. Now, if you have some work from the other day, you need to make sure you're checking those questions in Google Classroom. Some of you are not doing those. I'm taking grades on those, so I need you to make sure that you're answering those questions. Use complete sentences. That means if it asks you 3 separate questions, even if it says explain, that means I need 3 separate sentences at least, okay? So, hope you have a good day. Get some of your stuff done. It's already Wednesday, and I love you. And remember, kindness is a language everyone can hear. Bye.